JT Brew at JT Orange, but it's fine.
JT Brew at JT Orange, and we're
There we go.
live.
We're live. We're live,
JT,
Johnny.
I forgot your face. It's been like a
Oh
week
my
and a half since
God,
we
I
did a
haven't
show.
seen you forever, brother.
Oh,
It's been a long time.
You are still
Holy
absolutely
crap.
beautiful.
Thank you, sir. These kids are trying to
Well,
age me, though. My goodness.
we just talked about coaching our football teams and football practice, and I only coach the offensive lineman. JT does a little bit more, but we'll talk about a little bit of kids football practice, a little bit of all that stuff as soon as let's get this show going. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about, a whole bunch of NFL stuff. So let's get this started.
McGlynn is in. I repeat, McGlynn is in. Let the fun begin. This is the Commissioner Evaluation Podcast with your host, John McGlynn.
Was that Herms?
He got them guests on the Rolodex, stopping by to talk about some Dynasty superflex. Everybody, yo, commish is in. It's time to sit down to listen to John McGlynn. Yo, who we trading, who we fading, who we getting off the squad. Knowledge never overrated, playing for number one. And yo, McGlynn is in. It's time to let the fun begin. It's the Commissioner Evaluation Podcast with John McGlynn.
JT, you are coaching football. You are in the whole prime of yelling. You lost your voice. You got it back a little bit, kind
I'm
of.
trying to get the voice back. It's been a long week of practice this week. So I'm a little hoarse. Sorry, people. I'm not a yeller, John. I'm not a yeller at all. I'm usually the nice coach. I'm the easygoing guy. I'm the one that calms the kids down when they start getting frustrated and crying. But I got a bunch of coaches that are real nice, and our kids just don't listen this year, and it's brutal. We're 5 weeks in, and a wide receiver asked me what an out route was yesterday, and I about lost my mind. Another kid asked me, "Can I get a, can I go get a drink as I'm calling a play in the huddle?" The kid's in the huddle. I'm like, we're just not going to run the play so you can run over and get a drink on the sideline, or do you want to play or not play? And it's always the kids who have no clue what they're doing that always want to get a drink and do stuff, and then they're like, "Coach, can I go in? I haven't played at all." Yeah, that's why. That's why you don't play. You don't have any idea what you're doing. You ask for a water break every 5 freaking seconds. Oh my gosh. It's like these kids today, and I know I'm sure every generation says this, so I know I'm the old fucking guy yelling to the sky right now with the clouds. But it's like our coaches screamed in our faces all the time. We like pat these kids on the back and we're like, "No, you're good, you're good, you're good." And they just like they can't take it, man. Anything, any kind of little bit of pressure, any kind of yelling. They're like, "Oh, I mean, you're not just gonna pat me on the head." I'm like, "Do what you're supposed to do," and I'd love to pat you on the head, but like they nothing. No, it's brutal, man.
JT, I think people. I always coach offensive line. Okay, I don't do defensive. I don't do defensive stuff. I'm just an offensive line coach. I help with these guys, and I think people don't understand. Like, they think that the offensive linemen are they are, for the most part, they're the most passionate players on the field. I think, but they're very sensitive too. They're always
Yeah.
the biggest kids, and people think they're the roughest and toughest. These kids at the end of the season are the ones that cry the most because they missed the
Oh,
football season. But I'll tell you what, man, it's so cool because there's no prima donna divas on the offensive line. The guys just want to go in and road grade it. And it's like they want to help everybody else. They want to make the holes. They want to get downfield and block so the running back gets all the glory. They don't care. It's a different breed. Coaching offensive linemen is my favorite thing in the world because they're just like me. They're big teddy bears. They just want to do their job and just score points, and they don't care who gets the credit. They know their name's not going to be in the paper. They're not going to be in the local newspaper holding the football up, stuff like that. They're just gonna be part of a team, part of a program, and part of a great system.
well, I'm trying to tell these young kids because, like, at this grade, we have a couple bigger kids, but then it's like all the kids that aren't like super fast, super talented, they got to play O line because we have to have guys on the O line. Everybody wants to be the running back. And I'm trying to tell these kids, I'm like, just because you're on the O line doesn't mean you don't matter. I'm like, you matter. I'm like, you're the O line. Like, we can't do anything without the O line. And it's like trying to get these kids to understand, like, O line's not just like a throwing you off to the sideline. Like, you got to play. You got to be here. We need you. And so it's like trying to get these kids to understand that is a little difficult sometimes. But yeah, sorry, I'm just in frustration mode. We're 5 weeks into the season. Like We've had so many kids miss 1,000,000 days of practice, and they come back to practice like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, I don't have time to go back and tell you everything you missed for the 2 weeks you went on vacation during football season. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't have time. We have 38 kids. Like, listen and learn. And then I just like sometimes I test them. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run one play, and then I'm gonna run the exact same play with the second group right behind them. And 9 out of 11 kids look at me like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, it's the same freaking play the kids just ran in front of you, but you're not listening. You're over here grabbing your buddy's ass, and then you're not paying attention. Like I just ran the same freaking play. Just what do you run? You're a wide receiver. Watch the guy run exactly what he just did, and they don't do it. It's super frustrating.
It's
It's
great.
only sixth grade people. I know I'm getting fired up about it, but it's just like pay attention. Just play. I tell you what. I told my girlfriend this morning, I don't know how these teachers do it. I don't know
Yeah.
how these teachers do it with these kids. I mean, I got 38 kids for an hour and a half. That's it. And it's a nightmare. And I'm like, I don't know how they do it all day with these kids not paying attention, not listening, not doing anything you say. And I live in a nice town with a nice school district. So, like, I'm, I'm not bitching too much. Like, most of the kids are really nice and, like, everything's good. But, like, it's still, I'm like, wow. Just
Yeah.
wow. Like,
Did you ever
but
hear
I
the Nick?
also like half of me is like, hey, these kids all grew up during COVID. Half of them didn't go to school for 2 years,
Right.
at least where I live, because it was a nightmare. They wouldn't let anybody go to school forever. So it's just it's just a mess. But hopefully we pull our head out of our butts and we win a game tomorrow. I'm real nervous about it, but hopefully we show up on game day and we do what we're supposed to do.
Did you ever hear the story about Nick Saban when Derrick Henry came to Alabama and he had no idea how to like do anything besides grab the ball and just run? And he's like,
Because he didn't get coached at all. Like they're like, you're huge. I'm giving you the ball. You go.
yeah,
And then doesn't know anything. Like,
didn't know how to block, didn't know how to do it. Nick Saban had pretty much had to start like the kid was in 5th grade, like kind of like, hey, here, Derrick, here's how you block, here's how you catch, here's how you do anything. He didn't do anything besides run. Like here, Derrick, run right, run left, run right, run left for his entire career. And he finally got to college just on talent alone, and he had to learn how to be a football player. I mean, he's still just kind of a run right, run left kind of player, but.
yeah.
All right,
John,
but anyway.
first question. We're pulling it up right here. Jamie in the chat. Thank you, Jamie. I broke out my Travis Hunter jersey you got me for a home league draft the other day. It was a big hit. Everybody loved it. So thank you for that. I've been drafting Travis Hunter everywhere because of it. His question is Roman Wilson or John Sam. I always mess up his name.
Andre Yosevas.
Thank you for the Bengals. I jack it up every time. In best ball, I do. I tell you what, I like Roman Wilson. I think he's highly underrated. I think he's going to get way more playing time than people think he is. I legit think he, outside of the tight ends, and I'm going to throw that. I think the tight ends are going to be a lot in the mix for the Steelers. I think he's the number 2 wide receiver behind DK. So I'm grabbing Roman Wilson in best ball for sure. I don't think he's going to have a monster year as far as like statistics go, but he in best ball for sure, he's going to have some good games.
Yeah, I mean everybody's riding the Calvin Austin train right now, but I've been on the Roman Wilson train since our rookie drafts, last year. So I'm all about Roman Wilson. I think he's a very, very talented receiver. I think people forgot about him because he was out last year with an injury. So he definitely could be the number 2 receiver on his team for sure. I mean,
he's the perfect buy low second year candidate who
Absolutely.
didn't come through as a rookie, and so now everyone's forgot about him. People were getting, dude, he was a 3rd round pick. He was a 3rd round pick. It's not like he was like, oh, they took him in like the 5th or 6th round, like late. Like they spent like decent capital. I mean, Deontay Johnson was a 3rd round pick for the Steelers. Like 3rd round pick for the Steelers at wideout is like a legit pick. So I think you definitely go Roman Wilson. I've been grabbing him everywhere I can because he's cheap. I've got him off waiver wires. I'll make trades. I've traded for him in a couple places because people are just like, he's not gonna be anything. I'm like, all right, I'll trade just something cheap for him. So
talk about 3rd round picks who are underrated. We're just gonna kind of go through just so everybody knows. Like, I know we didn't start off on the right foot here, but we're gonna go through like team by team, just talk about some players that we like across other teams. Somebody I drafted this year is also a 3rd round pick who's on the Minnesota Vikings named Ty Felton. I think a lot of people forget about that when teams invest a 3rd round pick in a wide receiver. I mean, it's not a guaranteed hit. 3rd round pick is not a 1st round pick, and even 1st round picks don't always pan out. But Ty Felton is someone seriously overlooking, on the Minnesota Vikings. Justin Jefferson for sure is going to get all the love, and McCarthy's not a humongous running quarterback. I get that, but it's not the whole game. It's not going to be T.J. Hawkinson getting 100,000 and then Justin Jefferson. And out of the backfield, their running backs, Aaron Jones catches a lot of passes too, and but I just think Ty Felton is somebody that's. Where would you draft Ty Felton? Like, if you're talking about, I guess we could say dynasty startup, but even like a redraft this year. Let's just talk redraft because we're almost in redraft season right now. Where's Ty Felton going? As far as you're concerned, like, is he like wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5, wide receiver 3? Like, how do you kind of view a guy like Ty Felton?
Felton has literally been the cheapest guy in dynasty rookie drafts. Now, most people's dynasty rookie drafts are over. Unless you're in a couple of leagues like me, who I was complaining about earlier, the commissions are way behind and we're last second trying to fill stuff and get it done. But he was like the cheapest third-round wide receiver I think I've ever seen this year in Dynasty. I mean, he was dropping to like 4th, 5th. I had leagues he didn't even get drafted in the rookie draft as a third rounder. I mean, I think people just don't think he's going to play at all, which to me is a little surprising, to be honest with you. Obviously, Jordan Addison's there. The suspension helps Felton. I just can't believe how low he's going. It to me, it's really surprising. Like, he's definitely going to be somebody you'd think would be somewhat in the mix. And at this point, he's so cheap. He's probably on your waiver wire, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You could get him almost anywhere. If you're in a dynasty startup, he's probably going last round, if not going at all. It's wild to me.
Yeah. I got him everywhere just because nobody wanted him. I mean, I literally
I took him late in a ton of leagues, and then I picked him up off the waiver wire as soon as I could in a bunch of stuff. So
Joe, my neighbor, the guy who decided to take me and him like to drink together. He lives right across the street, like to drink together. And Joe decides every year to join his bowling league. It plays on Thursday night, so I can't watch Thursday night football. But he just got in here and said Brian Robinson to the 49ers. I did not see that.
Just saw it, John. Just pulled it up. Tom Pelissero sent him to the Niners. Brian Robinson is supposed to be going to the Niners, is what everyone says. That is wild to me. I never was a big Brian Robinson Jr. guy. I thought he was okay, but I just didn't see why he was like a starter. He just seemed like a backup in the league. I don't know, he's a starter. But he is getting traded to the 49ers. I'm really hoping this means that CMC isn't hurt or something's wrong with CMC. That hopefully it means all their backups are hurt and they're like, oh, we need another guy because everybody else is hurt. But this is wild. So
for a 6th round pick, exchange for a 6th round pick.
I mean,
thank you, Joe, for the breaking news. I tell you what, I'm the biggest Antonio Gibson fan on the face of the earth. And when I'm like, there was no way Brian Robinson's going to take over Gibson. Brian Robinson had some flashes where he actually looked pretty good in some games. He's not a terrible running back.
I mean, he's solid. He's not a great running back. He's solid. But I tell you what, man, the hype train, if you haven't done your draft yet or you're just getting ready to draft this weekend, oh my goodness, the hype train is going to get through the roof on the rookie out of Arizona. Here, I'm in a draft that got started late, just started this week, and he went number 3 in our rookie dynasty draft. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, people. Yep. He is going to be the pick everyone's taking this weekend. Redraft leagues, anything you're in, people are going to be all over him. People have been singing his praises. I was like, man, maybe the hype's a little too much, but maybe I'm wrong. Who else I got to look up who else is on the running back roster. Chris Rodriguez behind him? I'm like, really? Like,
I just picked up Chris Rodriguez and a bunch of on the waiver wire on a bunch of teams, so
well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I think he's the backup to McCrosky. I'm gonna look up a depth chart right now, John, because now
here's the depth chart. I'll just let you know it's Austin Eckler, Ja'Cory Crosby Merritt, Chris Rodriguez, and then Jeremy McNichols, which I have a lot of Jeremy McNichols because he's a good receiving back. He won me like a playoff game last year because he had like 1 or 2 good games and everybody else was hurt. So I mean, Austin Eckler,
I
I'm
had
not
him on a
buying
lot
that
of
hype
leagues. I
train.
picked him up late, man. But the hype train is gonna be through the roof. I mean,
Oh
literally,
yeah,
I'm in a draft. Like Ashton GT went one. It's an IDP combined league. I took Travis Hunter too. It Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt went number 3 over Tyler Warren, over Amarian Hampton, over Travion Henderson. Like the hype is through the roof, people, and it's
oh
just
yeah.
gonna get worse now. That is wild. Joe coming through with the minute pickups.
Joe, my
That's
man.
wild to me. That's wild to me. And I'm sorry if you have Brian Robinson Jr. as one of you're expecting him to be your RB2 or 3, you're in trouble now. Unless
Y-
CMC goes down again, he is now a backup for sure.
What does
That
this do for
hurts.
my Jordan James shares of the 49ers?
Well, here's what I'm thinking, John. Jordan James has been banged up.
Yep.
This to me says he's more hurt than they would like, and obviously, as a rookie, he obviously is way behind on the system. To me, this is why you're trading for him. Jordan Mason's gone on the Vikings. Now you're bringing Robinson in because you're hoping that he backs up CMC, but I don't have a lot of Brian Robinson, but I have a couple of spots where I really need him as a running back, so I took him. Yeah, he's in trouble now. That hurts. I'm gonna have
I've
to
been
make some
sending
trades.
fourth round pick and like $400 fab out of my $1,000 budget to try and get Brian Robinson. Does Brian Robinson's value, does it go up or down with after this situation? And how bad is
Oh,
he affected?
way down, because he's not the starter.
He's
I
not
mean,
the anything.
he's got to go way down because I mean, in Washington he was the starter and he has been the starter. Now he goes to San Fran. I mean, literally, the only way he becomes relevant for fantasy this year is another CMC misses the whole year, which
Yeah.
I mean, just end me now if CMC misses the whole year again. I mean, I traded for him everywhere last year when he was hurt because I was like, he's gonna come back next year and be huge. And I'll be done skis in a million leagues if CMC plays 2 games again.
Let me ask you a question, okay? How much faith do you think the Houston Texans have in Nick Chubb right now, where they didn't go out and get a guy like Brian Robinson, at least because Joe Mixon hasn't been at camp, hasn't been anywhere. There's no, I mean, when silence is golden as far as like when your injuries are concerned. Joe Mixon hasn't even showed up at camp like half. I mean, it's they don't know what's going on over there, and they've only got Dario Gumbuale, Nick Chubb, Damian Pierce. You know, they got Woody Marks. I know he's your boy, but
Woody Marks is my boy. Woody, buy all the Woody Marks shares. I'm telling you, John. People thought I was crazy. I was taking him like probably a round or a round and a half early in Dynasty rookie drafts, all the way back in like May. And people are like, man, you really like Woody Marks. People are in multiple leagues with me. They're like, dude, you really like Woody Marks. Like, you got him like every league we're in. I'm like, yes. And every league I didn't get him in, I'm still pissed about it. I think Woody, I said it, and I'll say it again. I've said it a million times. Best receiving profile of any running back coming in. And we know how the NFL likes to throw the football. Best receiving profile means he's gonna be on the field at least for third downs. And with all this stuff going on with Mixon, and I'm not sure. I had a buddy who works in the business, and he was like, "I think Chubb's done." Like he told me, like knows some reporters, and they think he is like toast. So I don't know if that's 100% true or not. I haven't seen him. Obviously, in the preseason, they're not going to play a guy like Chubb much in the preseason. But I'm telling you what, I'm feeling better day by day on all my Woody Mark shares.
I'm hearing the opposite. I'm hearing that Nick Chubb looks so good. He's he's the guy. He's the man. He's going to get more. They're going to give him more than he can expect this year. So I guess it all depends on which beat writer you're listening to. As far as that goes.
We'll see what happens. All I know is I have a million Woody Marks and no Nick Chubb. So I will say that. So everyone who does have a bunch of Nick Chubb, you're probably gonna laugh in my face when he ends up crushing for 1,500 yards out of nowhere, and he finds the fountain of youth this year, and he becomes the old Nick Chubb, and Woody Marks has 200 yards rushing and 15 catches, and everybody's like, JT's a moron.
I've been trying to trade a 4th round pick to get Chubb, and again, I send force all the time on these fringe guys just because I'm trying to buy as cheap as I possibly can. And and this guy's like, Nick Chubb's gonna be the starter. He's gonna get 300. He's gonna get 300 carries this year. He's gonna do this. I'm like, no, he's not. He's like, I need a second and a next year second for Nick Chubb. I'm like, dude, go pound sand, dude. That's not going to happen. Like, not even a chance. I'm trying to contemplate like sending a late third, and it still hurts my feelings for Nick Chubb because I know he's probably only in for a year, even if he does have a really good year. But a lot of times these running backs who came off these injuries, they do get a workload for a couple games, and then they're just not used to carrying the load anymore. Or their injury kind of flares up again a little bit, and they just kind of pan off as the season goes on. They get kind of replaced, supplanted. So I'm not trusting Chubb in anything more than like a early fourth, possibly late round third. I tried selling Chubb for a third. Jamie says he tried selling Chubb for a third. Did you get him? Were you able to sell him for a third? Did you get a third back? Like,
I'm guessing he said he tried, meaning he didn't get him.
Did not.
I think most people would probably take a third for him, be in that range. Depending on
you know what?
Here's the problem with me is like I know that I'm a sucker, but I love my draft picks. I feel like I know the percentages of like third rounders hitting are not great, but like I feel like a lot of my third rounders hit, and I love those guys. So like I hate giving up those picks. It's just me. I know that everyone probably says, "Oh, that's worth it." Just like I know a lot of people are like, "Dude, I'll trade damn near anything for a third. I'll give her a third rounder for anybody." And I'm like, God, I don't live in that world. That's just me, though.
The third round pick. This is a third round this year. Okay, Royals: Shadur Sanders, Blue, Ferguson, Devin Neal, Sampson, James, Woody Marks, Pat Bryant, Giddens, Arroyo, and Jarquez Hunter. Like, that's if you can get for a third round pick, I'd take probably any one of those guys. I'd even take Pat Bryant. I don't even like him. I know he's your Illinois guy. You love Pat Bryant.
I love Pat Bryant, man. I think Pat Bryant is so underrated. I was gonna say outside of Ty Felton going like being completely underdrafted, Pat Bryant's the other guy. Oh my God. We can tell a lot of people don't watch Illinois football, which I don't fault you for, but they've actually been decent this year. Ranked number 12 in the country, which
That's
means they're going to win
ridiculous.
5 games because that's what Illinois does. Whenever they're actually ranked high and high expectations, they win 5 games. Dude, Pat Bryant, I like him a ton. I think he's going to actually be in the mix in Denver.
Jeremy said, no, it didn't work. So I told the guy I'd sell him for a second in the season when he absolutely needs him. Yeah, of course, everybody says that when a trade doesn't go through. Yeah, when he bikes out, I'm not going to take anything except for a first from you, that kind of stuff. Everybody does that kind of stuff, Jamie.
That's the way to do it. That's the John McGlynn way.
The John McGlynn way is sending 15 guys for one and being like, dude, you can restock your whole roster with these garbage players for your stud.
I'm like, John, I have to cut every one of those guys. I can't use them. You're like, no, take them all. I'm like, I don't have any room in the roster.
It sounds like a you problem, buddy. So, what's the Texans?
Another thing coming up. Hey, get ready for your roster cuts, people. I've been getting notices from all the commissions. Like, roster cuts are right around the corner. So get ready to start cutting rosters down.
In my leagues and all my home leagues, I found out this year by joining a bunch of leagues that I don't run, which is kind of weird. Besides the fishbowl, I was only kind of in like neighborhood leagues, some redraft leagues. All my leagues that I run, I'm a commissioner of. I like things done my way. I like having the rookie draft, and then 2 weeks after the rookie draft, I want the roster cuts, and then a week after that, when everybody's absorbed their new roster, then I open the waivers for everybody. At that point in time. So it just seems kind of fair. If the rookie drafts are early, the waivers start early. If the rookie drafts are late, then the waivers start late. It is what it is, But I think the guys who just wait a little bit longer have a bigger advantage when the waiver wire is 12 teams, 30-man rosters. It seems like when I tell people 12 teams, 30-man rosters, no kicker and no defense, they're like, what? My team's 10 teams by 15 rounds. 10 teams, 15 rounds those teams, they hurt my head because I go on the waiver wire. It's like, wow, Lamar Jackson's still on the waiver wire. This is great. Like it's ridiculous. It drives me bonkers.
There's a lot more players available. Well, I'm in a bunch of, me, I won't get into the IDP talk, but I'm in a bunch of big IDP leagues that are like 50-man rosters. I'm like checking out my roster and I'm like, oh, I'm at 67 players. I gotta get 17 guys because I'm one of those guys, like I do the draft. Then I literally, that first waiver wire run, I pick up like 10 guys in case I think they might, like, I'm picking up like backup linebackers, safeties, young guys are like, just in case they win the starting job. and I can use them. And if I don't,
Mhm.
then I can cut them later. So my rosters right now, I was up till late last night, trying to go through my roster and figure out who I'm going to cut from what teams because I had picked up so many guys on the waivers in the offseason.
There's nothing worse than after you, because during the season, I'll leave one spot open, like, and I'll just one day at a time. I'll just take it. People who are on the IR that like kind of have any kind of fantasy relevance. I'll pick them up and I'll move in my IR. And next day I'll pick somebody up, move in my IR. You know, anybody that's on the IR. So I fill my 10-man IR up, and then I have like I have a 20-man taxi squad on one of the leagues too. When you import 15 rookies or 17 rookies, I had to cut 13 guys off that got imported to my taxi squad. I had to clear my IR, and I because of the draft, I had other guys that I couldn't I traded for during the draft too. I had to cut 27 people this year in one of my leagues. I'm like, dude, this is so brutal. It's almost like, yeah, it's terrible, man. When you
Cutting
got to
a
cut,
whole team. John's literally cutting a whole roster.
and you're like, oh
Like,
shit.
he's like, oh, guys are like, I didn't realize we had a 13th team in this league. And John's like, yeah, they're just all on my bench.
Yeah, I'm like, man, what do I keep Cornell Powell or Quintez Cephas? Like, which one of these guys do I?
John, I just got Woody Marks at 4-2.
Did you really? Good
Just
for
got
you, man.
4-2.
Wait, in
Loving
the
it.
rookie draft or like in what are you talking
In the
about?
rookie draft.
That's
Draft.
That's awesome. 4-2 is pretty good, man.
Yeah, I got Travis Hunter at 1-2, Caleb Johnson at 2-2. I got Trey Harris at 3-2 and Woody Marks at 4-2. I'm absolutely loving it.
How scared are you about Caleb Johnson?
Oh, as a Steelers fan, I went back and I watched the preseason games on NFL Plus last night. I went back and rewatched them because I had kind of seen them, but I wasn't paying super attention because I was doing stuff when I was watching them. So I went back and rewatched them last night. He looked a little better than I previously had thought, but man, a lot of arm tackles bring him down.
Dude, how long have I been saying that for?
Lot. I know you're the biggest. You're like, dude, he doesn't learn. He doesn't bring a lot of tackles. A lot of arm tackles. He's got some talent. I'm not gonna say he doesn't. But he's better than Najee talk, I think it's a slap in the face to Najee. To be honest with you, I really don't think he's as good as Najee. I mean, people are like, "Oh, he's a third rounder." Najee was a first rounder. Najee, I think, is better than him. Obviously, he's cheaper because he's a rookie, but I'm hoping he works it out. But I think there's going to be a lot of Jalen Warren. So if you got Jalen Warren this year, I think you're going to feel good about it because I think there's going to be a real split between him and Warren.
There was times in camp where I heard that Kenny Gainwell was even playing above Caleb Johnson behind Jalen Warren just because of the production, and I'm okay with that.
I was texting my cousin this last night when I was watching the preseason game. They actually are super deep at running back. I know that like these are like secondary guys and no one loves them, but Kenny Gainwell I think he's super underrated. I like him on this team. Lou Nichols out of Central Michigan, second year. I mean, people forget like 3-4 years ago he led the nation in rushing at Central Michigan. He's not small either. People think like, oh, he went to a small school, he must be a tiny running back. He's not. Dude's got some size. I actually like Lou Nichols. I really like Lou Nichols, and then old school Evan Hull from Northwestern that was on the Colts is on that team. He's getting no playing time because that team is loaded with running backs, and even Trey Sermon, who is also on the Colts, is now on there. And I don't love Trey Sermon, but he's serviceable. So I'm like, man, this is going to be a tough running back cut room for the Steelers because they actually have some solid guys back there.
If Lou Nichols gets relegated to the practice squad, he will be picked up by somebody else. Like he's not going to be able to just sit on the Steelers practice squad and be like, yeah, okay, we got all those talented guys on the practice squad. Evan Hull was a guy you talked about a couple of years ago coming out of college.
He was a good receiving back. He caught a ton of passes at Northwestern, so I thought he could work his way into like a third down role for some teams. He's had injury issues. Has been as big. He got hurt like second or third game his rookie year for the Colts and missed the whole year, and then never really could make it back last year and then got cut. So the Steelers picked him up. But he was the guy who caught a ton of passes for a terrible Northwestern team, but he was solid. Lou Nichols, I tell you what, man, that's kind of like him. I think this is maybe me loving the 5th round rookie picks, like for fantasy, like the guys you throw a dart at. But man, I do kind of like him.
Yeah. Jamie's got another question here. Your boy Downs, 26 first, 27 fourth for selling Bruce Hall and Jack Bat show. 10 team.
I'm doing that.
Yeah.
10 teams, super flex people. I like Downs more than anybody. Now's the time to buy. Absolutely, now's the time to buy Colts receivers. Everybody's down. Every with all the crazy stuff, John. I don't even know if you want me to get into it or not. With everything going, the quarterbacks.
Go ahead.
I think Downs is a buy right now. 26 first. I love it. I'm not sold on Brees Hall. We know you love Braylon Allen. He was your guy. I like Braylon Allen as a backup. I actually went and picked him up in Dynasty Charity League today, where I have Brees Hall and a short bench, and I was like, you know what? I just dropped one of my receivers and picked up Brees Hall just in case. So I actually don't mind that at all. I'd make that move. Downs 26 first and a 27 fourth for Brees Hall and Besh. Besh, I like him as a player. I just don't know how fantasy relevant he's gonna be. I think he's a better player than he is a fantasy guy.
Right.
I think he's going to do all the dirty work for the Raiders. I think he's going to be in there. He's going to make some plays, but I just don't think he's going to end up being a guy. I think he's a guy you're going to really like that he's on your team. In real life, I just don't think he's ever going to be super fantasy relevant.
No. He's a head coach's like, dream player because he's that go-to guy. You can.
Jamie says, advice for a friend, not my league. Look at Jamie throwing out questions for his friends. That's a good friend. That's a real friend right there. I love it.
Talk about not friends. This guy who doesn't. Joe Castleman, love me some Downs. John's been trying to get him off me for over a year. Yes, Joe. I try to like pull the wool over Joe's eyes all the time. Or I try to pull the wool over everybody's eyes all the time. But everybody knows just as much as I do, probably more than I do. So Downs is. Joe never trades, first of all. So if you trade with Joe, it's like the whole league goes nuts. Like when Joe makes a trade, like once every 3 years, like, holy shit, what happened? How did Joe make a trade? But yeah, I was trying to get Downs when his value was low before like kind of the hype train started on him. But now Downs is going to probably be the leading receiver on that team. I mean, he's a very talented player. But yeah,
he's been a little nicked up again. So now's the time to try to buy him because some people are real nervous about the Colts quarterback situation, as they should be, but I still think Downs puts up stats. And he's been, again, the one big thing about him is he has been nicked up almost pretty much every year since he's been in the league. He is not a very big guy. He's been nicked up, so that is the worry with him, but I do like him a ton. John, let's just get into it. Let's talk about it so I can just get off my chest.
Get it off your chest.
I am insanely upset about this Anthony Richardson situation. The AR, not going with the AR, going with Daniel Jones. I guess we should have seen it coming when they signed Jones, like this was going to happen. But man, I tell you what, for how smart these NFL GMs and coaches think they are, they make a lot of dumb decisions for how smart they think they are. It's crazy to me. I was up late last night watching all the preseason games, going back. Anthony Richardson played pretty good in the preseason. He had a 50, 60-yard strike to Anthony Gould. He laid it over a defender who was literally blanketed on him. All over him. No business making the completion. Golden made a great catch. It's like a 55, 60-yard reception and gets called back because A.D. Mitchell is offsides. The wide receiver's offsides before the play starts. Like, those are things that people go back and they look at the stat sheet and they're like, eh. I'm like, that's the stuff that kills a guy. Like, you had that 60-yard catch that he threw on a dime. We know who Daniel Jones is at this point. We know he lucked into a huge contract only because the Giants somehow, some way made the playoffs as a 9-8 team and won a playoff game, and that's the only reason Daniel Jones is got the contract he got. If they would have made the playoffs, if all that wouldn't have happened, there's no way they signed him to a huge deal. So, I mean, let's just talk about this. The Giants basically told him to leave, got rid of him, even though they owed him a crap load of money. Got rid of him so they could sign Russell Wilson and start Russell Wilson this year. I mean, if you're a Colts fan, that doesn't make you feel great. You're like, we picked up their guy because what? Oh, they got rid of him so they can start Russell Wilson. That's another team. The Giants, like, what are they doing? Stop effing around. Just play Jackson Dart. What are you doing? Just play Jackson Dart. Stop it. No one believes in Russell Wilson anymore. It's ridiculous. Let's pull up Joe's comment because he's right. Oh, sorry, John, you hit it because I think I'm hitting it at the same time you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50% completion percentage doesn't help. I agree, Joe. But there's also, if you go back and watch a ton of their tape, there's a ton of drops on film that weren't his fault. And there's a ton of completions that get called back for terrible penalties that make his stats look worse, even though he's pretty good. He had another play where they ran an RPO. He ran a beautiful RPO, runs out to the left. It's like 3rd and 5 or 6, runs it to the left and dumps off a 7-yarder to the tight end right on the sideline on a rope for a first down, and it gets called back because of the legal man downfield. Like, people don't see stuff like that. And again, there's no way Anthony Richardson ever is going to be a 65% to 70% completion percentage because that's not who he is. He chucks the ball deep, man. He's old school. We're 80s style. We're throwing deep balls. Like, you go back and look at the completion percentages for the quarterbacks in the 70s and 80s, you will crap yourself. And you realize that, like, all these Hall of Famers had like 52% completion percentages for their career. You'll lose it. Everybody just thinks of this West Coast, dump it off, 3-yard passes, 5-yard passes. Everyone needs to complete 70% of the passes. They don't. Not if that's your guy. Not if your guy's throwing 60-yard bombs downfield.
Yeah,
like he doesn't need to complete 70% of his passes. Like, under 50% is bad. Yes, I agree with you. But he's been getting better. And again, all the stats, all the plays that get called back just kill me. They just kill me.
You sound like all of us Bears fans making excuses for our quarterback. I do the same thing with every Bears quarterback. Joe goes nuts.
Hey, that's what we have to do, Joe. That's our job, is to just make excuse after excuse of why our guys aren't great. Here's the other thing. I know Anthony Richardson's not great. I don't even think if Anthony Richardson starts this year that the Colts make the playoffs. I'll be honest with you. I don't think they do. Because I think Anthony Richardson has a ton of potential. I do not think he's a good QB right now. But you knew that when you drafted a 20-year-old quarterback who started one season in college and one season in high school. You have to have a plan. The Colts have absolutely jacked this thing up. They've jacked this up. If you're taking that guy 4th overall, you know, like, hey, this is a 4 or 5 year process.
Yeah.
And they turn around like, well, he got hurt and this happened and blah, and now we got to bail on him. What are you talking about? He's still younger than almost every quarterback that got drafted in the draft this year. 3 years into his career. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, it's just but this is classic Colts over the last decade that they just butcher everything. It's so bad.
Let me ask you a serious question about the Colts, okay? And this may sound like John McGlynn homerism or stuff like that, but let's say Daniel Jones gets hurt or just does terrible. Do you think they put Richardson in, or just done with him, or would they actually give Riley Leonard a chance?
Well, here's my thing. If you weren't going to play Richardson, play Riley Leonard. I agree. I actually like Riley Leonard. I thought he was a great draft pick because I'm like, hey, if you're going to run an offense for Richardson, the best guy to run the same offense would be Riley Leonard.
They're all the same players.
He's gritty. He's not as talented as Richardson as far as like just straight athletically. No. He's probably ahead of Richardson. I think he's older than Richardson, to be honest with you. I think he's older than him. I'd have to look it up, but they're damn near the same age, or he's a year old. He's a year older than him.
I had Riley Leonard a bunch of teams.
I just don't understand this Daniel Jones move. There's no. I mean, I mean, I'll eat it, but there's no way they make the playoffs with Daniel Jones. I just don't understand it. And John, since I'm just on my bitch fest this morning. Sorry, people. It's a Friday, and things are. How does Daniel Jones get another shot before Drew Lock? I don't understand how Drew Lock is not getting a shot from somebody. I mean, they let Drew Lock play against the Colts last year after Daniel Jones got cut.
Mm-hmm.
They got rid of him, and Drew Lock still lost his backup. Though I will tell people, if you would have been smart, I almost never bet on preseason football because it's just dumb. But I did on the Seahawks. A free preseason game because I'm like Drew Lock and Jalen Milroe as my backups. Yes, please. Plus they're running backs, and I love their running backs. All they're deep and they're wide. Yeah, crushed on the Seahawks preseason. Won a few bets because Drew Lock's the man.
Okay, so we're talking about backup quarterbacks now a little bit. Let's just go Sam Howell. All right. Would Sam Howell be an upgrade over JJ McCarthy if he halfway through the season? I am not a McCarthy fan. I've watched the kid since high school.
You're not JJ. I actually think JJ is going to be good, man. I think he's underrated. I think he's underrated, and I also think he's in a really good system, man. The Vikings know how to. They're the complete opposite of the Colts. They can make their QBs look good. They can set them up and do the right thing. Man, I actually think JJ is going to be solid. I really do. I told you when I saw him at the combine last year, he sold me, man. He looked so good in person, and maybe it's just me, because I saw him in person. But the zip on the ball, the placement. Here's the thing: is Bo Nix had a monster year, and JJ McCarthy looked 10 times better than Bo Nix at the combine. I mean, legitimately. JJ McCarthy looked way better than Bo Nix.
Do you think JJ McCarthy's going to be nothing but a game manager?
Younger? I think JJ McCarthy's 3 years younger than Bo Nix.
Yeah.
So,
do you think I've seen JJ McCarthy get laughed off the field when Mount Carmel beat him in a state championship in high school, and they did win a state championship, but he was hurt and he threw 7 passes in the game, and because the team that he was on was so good. Then he goes to an awesome. He finishes at Mater Day or I forgot what school it was, one of the pristine academy schools, and then he goes to college to Michigan, and he doesn't throw the ball hardly. It's a run. He's a game manager to me, and I don't think that Sam Darnold didn't need to be a game manager last year. He was just the system just fit his play. Some quarterbacks are good and they just don't fit some coach's system. It's going to be hard not to fit a system with Justin Jefferson in there. And the team that's built around them. But I mean, what if they rely on JJ McCarthy to be the team? Can he be the team? It's nice that he got a whole year to sit and watch film.
That's been the big question. He's never had to be the guy.
He's never had to be
do everything, and so that's the question. I think he can be successful. Now, does that mean fantasy success? Do we get early Tom Brady with him? Where they win a lot of games, but he fantasy wise, he's like a middle of the road fantasy quarterback. There's a chance. There's a chance because they have a fantastic defense. Lean on him. The only thing is man, even Josh Dobbs looked good for the Vikings. I mean, I'm just saying they've made QBs look really solid. So I'm buying JJ personally. I think they can make it work. I just like O'Connell. I think O'Connell's a stud as a coach. So, and then obviously if you learn anything, JJ McCarthy, probably not listening to me. For sure he's not listening to me. But if you learn anything, go the Kirk Cousins way and just force the ball to JJ. Just throw it to him. That was the one thing that Kirk Cousins did really well. Was he just, whenever it was in need, desperation, had to make something happen, he just forced the ball to JJ. He was like, nope, triple coverage, double coverage, I don't care. Throw it to him anyway. Just throw it to him.
The 2 best things that JJ McCarthy has on the Vikings is Justin Jefferson and Brian Flores as a defensive coordinator. People aren't going to score a ton of points against them. So he's going to be somebody that doesn't need to do much. Just win the game. You don't have to be a superstar. You don't have to throw 1,000 touchdowns. The defense is going to score a touchdown a week probably. I mean, they're that good. They blitz the shit out of everybody. Brian Flores is such as a head coach, as a person, that's a whole different story. But as defensive coordinator, man, he knows what he's doing, and he brings the noise. So they're not going to have to score a ton of points to win games. So
I totally agree. Like I said, I like JJ as a player. I think he's going to be good. Obviously, jury's still out on whether he's going to be a primetime fantasy producer or not.
I want to talk about, well, I know, I always want to talk about Josh Allen. Okay. That's my number one talk, but what is going to happen to receiving core of the Buffalo Bills? There's no fantasy viable option on this team for real. Like, I don't trust Keon Coleman. Khalil Shakir, I think, is kind of overrated. Am I wrong? I traded for Dalton Kincaid in about probably 7 leagues this year in the offseason. I thought it was a good deal. I traded away Aaron Rodgers to get Dalton Kincaid in a 0.75 tight end premium league. I think Kincaid is going to be the guy who he was hurt a lot of last year. He's got great hands. He drops some passes. Got a bad. His whole name's been dragged through the mud for the last year and a half. Do you think Dalton Kincaid could possibly be the focal point of this offense, or am I just wish casting that?
I actually think there's a good chance. I really do. I think he's. The problem is so many tight ends have hit early lately, and that never happens. It never happens. I always talk about it. It's like you got to get those tight ends, you got to draft them, you got to put them in a taxi squad for 3 years, and then year 3 they bust out. But so many guys have hit lately, with the Laportas and the Bowers, and people are just like, oh, they expect these guys to just crush it right off. People forget that Dalton Kincaid did not play football for a long time. Like,
right.
He was kind of a late bloomer, came in. He had that monster year at Utah. He wasn't even the starter at the beginning of the year at Utah. The starter got hurt, and he got thrust in and had a monster year.
Yeah.
So he's a guy still learning. I actually think there's I need to look this bet up. I need to look and see if there's a bet that he leads them in receiving this year, because that's a bet I would bet.
I would bet
take
that
bet. Because I do think there's a good chance he ends up leading this team in receiving this year. I think their wide receiver core could be decent, but they just, man, I don't know if I trust any of those guys to be awesome. Josh Palmer, he's had moments where he's looked really good. I mean, Elijah Moore, he was my, throw the dart with my eyes closed, like at the end of drafts and a bunch of redraft leagues and a bunch of charity leagues I was in. I kind of threw at him. Maybe he gets a spot. Maybe Shakur, maybe. I don't know.
playing the slot
I think Kincaid is the best bet in this group.
Let's play this game.
It's a little surprising that they didn't do more to get Josh Allen something, but
yeah, I feel like Aaron Rodgers, they never really draft anybody for him. That's kind of where they're at. Although they did trade back from the first round for pick 201. I think they got Keon Coleman, but Keon Coleman's just kind of a jump man. He's like a Chambers. But anyway, let's talk about you're in a dynasty league, okay? Are you taking, obviously, Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, that would you take Dalton Kincaid, or would you take Mark Andrews at this point in time?
If I'm in dynasty, I take Kincaid. I want to get a shot at the long term in Kincaid.
Kincaid or Kelsey? Dynasty right now, starting up. Kincaid or Evan Ingram?
It's a little closer. I think Evan Ingram could be good on the Broncos this year. Short term, if I'm in a win now situation, I take Ingram. But
I think I'm going Kincaid in both situations. There, Dallas Goedert.
Man, I like Goddard, but I was looking some stats up on him the other day, and they were, man, it's just like he misses so much time, and he's like clearly the third option for the Eagles for a team that doesn't throw the ball a ton. I like Goddard for the value, but I think Kincaid long term is definitely the guy.
This is my toughest one, and I didn't know which one to get, so I traded for both of them. And a lot of I had both these guys on a lot of my same teams. Tucker Kraft or Dalton Kincaid?
Ooh, Tucker Kraft is making a name for himself. I kind of like Kraft lately. Oh, man. I like Kincaid a lot. I'd probably Kraft slightly. Again, I think the wide receivers are going to be a little bit of a mess there. I think Kraft steps up.
All right. Just like after that, like Jake Ferguson, I want Kincaid over that for sure. Kyle Pitts, Gesicki. I mean,
John, I gotta stop away for just a second. I'll be right back.
all right. I'm going to go through this while JT steps away for a second. But this list of tight ends that are above Dalton Kincaid in the rankings, all right? Zach Ertz, Hunter Henry, Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren had one good year in college. I don't know about that. I feel like he's somebody that may not, just opportunity because the team, but Kyle Pitts, Gesicki, Brenton Strange might have a decent year this year. Colson Loveland. I like Colson Loveland. They're probably in a parallel universe there. Dalton Schultz, Mason Taylor, Kate Otten. Those guys are all kind of in the same tierish. Tight ends, as most people know, from tight end like 7 to tight end 7 to probably 19, 20 are all kind of in the same area. So I just have big aspirations this year, big time aspirations this year for Dalton Kincaid. I try to get him everywhere. I try to, especially in the tight end premium league where he may not get a ton of volume, but he's definitely going to be in a situation where he's going to get a lot of Josh Allen's looks. And for a guy like Josh Allen who spreads the ball all over the place, he is also a fantastic option in the middle of the field. And Josh Allen loves the middle of the field. He just, he loves throwing downfield, but he loves throwing, to the tight ends. He loves throwing the slot receiver. He does like Khalil Shakir had a lot of catches last year, but I don't think he's the man. I think they need someone with good hands. And Kincaid dropped a couple passes and made himself look bad in some premium moments where everybody kind of got a bad taste in their mouth about him. But I do like Kincaid. I think Kincaid is the person I want as my sleeper tight end this year. So,
I like it, John. I think it's worth a shot, man.
Absolutely,
it's worth a shot.
Is there any other? Okay, let's talk about one last thing. Okay, running back sleepers this year. We already talked about Woody Marks. We got some. What other guys are we talking about later on in this draft? Let's say RB3s or later. Like who do you have? Ramondre Stevenson is a guy kind of. I traded away Ramondre Stevenson, the 3rd round pick, to get at Emeka Egbuka this year in a rookie draft. I thought that was a pretty good.
That's a phenomenal move. I love Egbuka. I think he's flying up draft boards. I think he's really good. A couple guys that I got my eye on. I think DJ Giddens is won the backup role for the Colts. So him behind JT, I think, is a really nice handcuff. I'm trying to think who else is
what about Ollie
out
Gordon?
to me. I think Ollie Gordon. I don't know if I trust Jalen Wright. I think Ollie Gordon's a nice pick. I feel like people are starting to jump on board with him. I actually thought he was a nice move because he was opposite of what they had there, and we've seen HN get banged up. I think Gordon has a chance. If I know a lot of people play standard scoring anymore, but if you play standard like no PPR, I like Gordon a lot, man. I think there's a chance. There's a real chance. I think that in Miami, it could be Ollie Gordon and A-Chain are the new Gibbs Monty combo. I do. I think Ollie Gordon, and I've said it. I said it in a million of my articles. Ollie Gordon goes way earlier if he can come out the year before. He was an absolute freaking monster. Won the Doak Walker Award. Was an absolute beast as a true sophomore at Oklahoma State, but couldn't come out because got to be 3 years out of high school. Had to go back to school for one more year, and Oklahoma State just sucked. They were terrible. There's nothing he could do about it. The offense was horrible. Everybody knew he was getting the ball. He just got beat down. I mean, everybody stacked the box against him. I really think he would have been one of the top 3 or 4 backs off the board if you came out the year before, and instead he goes in the 6th round. So I like him. I think he's a nice guy. If he's on your waiver wire, I think Ollie Gordon's a guy to go pick up for sure. I tell you what, he's not going to see any playing time this year, but if you're in a deep league where you can stash guys, man, going back to the Seahawks, I'm not even a Seahawks guy, but I watched a ton of their preseason. Damian Martinez. I know everybody's on Charbonnet because he looked really good with Kenny Walker out, but man, I like Damian Martinez. He's a great stash for the Seahawks. I loved him at Oregon State. He was really good last year at Miami. He split time, so he didn't have huge stats in Miami, but he was really good. He's a guy I'm absolutely stashing. Tank Bigsby, I think there's a real concern about Travis Etienne with the Jags. I think Tank really, and I'm not even a huge Tank guy. I really am not. I think he cuts in there. So if you're in a league where you can get Tank cheap, go trade for him, get him. I have him in a league that I've had him for a couple years in a salary cap league. I took him as a rookie. He There's a good chance he might start for me as my RB2 this year in that league. So he's a guy I'm definitely considering as well. I think Jordan Mason is a nice get. I think he's really going to work in with Aaron Jones. I think they know what they have with Aaron Jones, and they know they just can't use him nonstop because he always gets injured if they use him a ton. But he's always super productive when he plays. So I think Jordan Mason actually sees some decent time with the Vikings. So I've seen a couple of Jordan Mason trades lately.
What about Dylan Sampson?
I have been taking Samson in a ton of rookie drafts in like the third round, like mid to
Fourth
late
fourth
third
round.
round.
I've been getting him.
Even fourth round, you can get him. I've said, Judkins doesn't have the best receiving profile, so even if he started and now, obviously with all the stuff that happened with him, he's been a buy lately because he's been falling way down in drafts. I got him in my home league redraft keeper league super late last week. I took him. I'm like, man, if he ends up hitting, he could be a great keeper for me. But I like Samson. I think Samson's got a decent receiving profile. I think he can work in the mix. And here's the thing: is I just think that Browns team is not very good. I think they're going to have to like run the ball constantly. So
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance he gets a decent amount of carries. And if Judkins just like comes into camp and is like not ready to go at all because he's been out, I think there's a good chance Samson sees some time. So I like Samson a lot.
Now, last one, Kyle Monangai. Are we just Chicago Bears homers, or is Kyle Monangai going to have a role?
I like him, man. He's a grinder. He was really good at Rutgers when Rutgers was not great. He was a guy, if you play C2C, you wanted him on your roster because he guy pounded out 1,000-yard seasons left and right. Really solid. The one thing about him that you gotta love as a Bears fan and that gives him a good shot to get on the field is he will do all the dirty work. He will block. He's probably one of the best blockers in this draft as far as running backs are concerned, and coaches love that. They absolutely love that. I think he ends up winning this backup running back role, and I think as the year progresses, he gets more and more touches from DeAndre Swift. Just Swift's the more explosive back, and we know who he is. But I think there's a chance they start leaning him a little bit more as the year goes on because again, I think he does all the dirty work. I think he'll do anything they ask, and he's a tough kid, tough runner. I don't know if he will have a huge fantasy upside as far as like stats he can pile up, but I definitely think he's going to see some playing time. And if Swift goes down, I just think he's better than Roshan. And I know you love Roshan, but I think
I
he's
do.
better than Roshan. So I definitely think he's a handcuff I want.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got more to talk about. The couple more preseason games this week, and then we got a long holiday weekend, and then the football season starts. Man, we're in week 0 for college football. We get some football is back, baby. So.
All right, Pump Man. It's here already. I'm like, I already have my first bet of the year in. Everybody jump on Hawaii versus Stanford week 0. A little free betting advice for you. I like Hawaii in that game. I think Stanford is not good, and I like Hawaii. So I'm jumping on Hawaii. I even
What time
took
is
the
that game on?
points.
Like 2 a.m?
Oh, it's my favorite. That's why, dude. Me and my
I
friends, we
know.
have this joke. That's like, if everything goes wrong on a Saturday, just bet Hawaii at midnight,
Yeah.
and you're golden. And that's what we do. We all just like, are we getting on Hawaii tonight? Like, and it's like that's what we do. We all just bet Hawaii late night all the time. But yeah, it's a late night game. But I
Oh,
like Hawaii in that one.
6:30 Central Time, JT.
Oh,
Wow.
dang. I don't like that. I
I
like when
don't-
they play at like 8:39 because then I'm ready. Like the day's over. I got off work. I'm home. I can play a game. Man, at 6:30, I'm gonna be on the food truck this weekend at our music festival. Shoot. I'm gonna have to break out the iPad and bring it on the truck and turn that sucker on so I can watch some of the game.
There are some good games this weekend, man. There are some college football is back, baby. This is
Hey, we
absolutely
got another
outstanding.
question here, John, real quick from Jamie. Pulling it up here. He says, "Is it crazy to draft London over St. Brown, or am
Absolutely
I
not.
overthinking it?"
Absolutely
I don't
not.
think it's crazy, man. There's a lot of people that like London over St. Brown. So it I think I like St. Brown a ton. Like, obviously we've seen what he's done. He's really, really good. I think London has the highest upside. So you're shooting a little bit for the moon there, but I don't think that's a crazy idea if you like him, especially in Dynasty.
London could have 160 targets this year. You know, I mean, probably maybe even more than that. I'm absolutely afraid of this offense. The Lions offense without the entire coaching staff got gutted. The offense, the defense, the water boy, the cheerleaders. I mean, everything there got gutted. You got to start from scratch, and
it's people don't understand. I mean, even though you still have the head coach, that's a big change. It's a big
huge.
change when your player caller's gone. You know, you don't know how those guys are taking on the new guy. It's a difference. I still think the Lions are going to be good, but I just don't see how they don't take a slight step back this year. Even if they're still good. I just don't think they're humming like they were last year.
I have pick 8 in this. I have another McGlynn Dynasty Home League startup. I got pick 8, and Anthony Scripp has pick. I think it's 1 or 2. I think he's got 2. If Josh Allen doesn't go pick 1, what would you trade to move up to get Josh Allen at 2, or would you just stay at 8 and be like, okay, whatever? Because I need Josh Allen on my.
I know you love to trade up, John. I know you're a huge fan of the trade up, getting your
probably
quarterback.
the only dumbass that loves trading up all the time. Yeah, but
that's the only good thing though, is if you're that guy that likes to trade up because everybody else is trying to trade back, you can make some things happen. I've seen you do some crazy trades. I don't know, man. What would I give up? What would I give up, or what would you give up, John? Because I think you would give up more than I would usually to move up and get him, because you love to have your boy.
A third, when I swapped 3rd and 6th round picks, was that enough to move up 5 picks in the first round?
Is this a startup?
It's a 12-team, 30 rounds Dynasty Superflex startup, no kicker, no defense, kind of similar to Babies and Boomers setup.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can make that move. I mean, I think a lot of people would take that trade if they can move back 5 or 6 spots and get a 3rd and a 5th or a 6th. I think a lot of people would make that trade. If you like the quarterback, I think it's worth it.
Get your guy. All right, JT, thanks a lot, man. We will talk to you guys later. Thanks for joining the Dynasty Evaluation Show. We will see you a lot during the season. Have a good one.